Hey everyone, it's me, Flaro Spider, and today I'm going to be doing my review for the movie Spider-Man 3, released in 2007. After all, since in my last video I reviewed Spider-Man 2, and obviously I'm back home today, so I should be able to make more videos, except I'm going to have a job interview on 3 days from now. Hopefully I get accepted, but if I do, I'm sadly gonna have less time to make these videos, so I'll try to make as much as I can. But anyway, in my last video, of course, like I probably mentioned, I reviewed Spider-Man 2. Now I'm gonna be reviewing Spider-Man 3, which, by the way, just the other day it was Thomas Hayden Church's birthday, and he played in this movie as Sandman. So happy late birthday if you happen to watch this, which I highly doubt you are. But anyway, my thoughts on this movie, well, for starters, I know it's probably gonna make me lose subscribers, but I actually always loved this movie. Please don't unsub for me, it's just my opinion. Well, plus, the reason why I bring that up is because my best friend, Prockstar Foxy, told me that I could, and I was concerned about losing subscribers because I went from 188 to 185, then 86. Well, 186, of course. Now, I'm currently at 187, so hopefully this video will at least bring back another one and not make me lose any more subs. And I'm still trying to get to 200 afterwards. But anyway, enough talk, let's just get on with the review for this movie. So obviously, one of the main criticisms this movie gets, which, yes, I do acknowledge its flaws, is, of course, the too many villains problem. And technically, there's only 3 so-called main antagonists of this movie. And this was the first of not only the trilogy, but out of all of the Spider-Man movies to have, well, multiple villains. In this movie, there's obviously Venom, Sandman, and Harry Osborn as New Goblin, which, obviously, Venom is the storyline of the black symbiote that Peter Parker bonds with, and he likes it at first until it starts changing his personality, giving us the famous Bully Maguire, and then when he realizes that it's changing his life, he gets rid of the symbiote, and his co-worker, Eddie Brock, takes it and becomes Venom for revenge. While then there's Sandman, who obviously has the main plot of he was Uncle Ben's true killer and was doing all of the crime to avenge his sick daughter that was dying. And then New Goblin, they were obviously setting up for the first 2 movies, so obviously he had to be in this movie. But the thing is, Sam Raimi didn't want to use Venom, but Sony demanded it because, well, almost every Spider-Man fan loves Venom. I'm obviously one of them. But yeah, Harry became, well, the new Green Goblin like he does in the comics. However, by process of elimination, I'm gonna have to not consider him a main villain because, well, at the end of the movie, he turns good to help Peter take down Venom and Sandman, which those 2 are the actual main antagonists of the movie because they were there start to finish, basically. While the main thing I liked about this movie was how it has Venom in it, of course, and he's always been one of my favorite Spider-Man characters, which he even got his own spin-off later on. Well, not this Venom, of course, but multiversally. And then, well, obviously Harry became New Goblin because he found out Peter Parker was Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2 and wanted to get revenge on him after his father, Norman Osborn, died. But then eventually realized that Norman was Green Goblin. He died by his own hand. And then, of course, Venom kills Harry at the end of the movie, which was pretty sad. Although this movie does have flaws because obviously, well, for starters, Bully McGuire dancing around and saying meme-worthy things was off. Venom didn't have the demonic voice, but instead was screaming like an animal and removing his Venom mask to have Topher Grace talk, which, by the way, I still think he had a good performance in this movie because, well, he was just like how he is in the comics, some unlikable reporter who had his life ruined because of Spider-Man and then bonded with Venom, who didn't like Peter for getting rid of him, so he thought Eddie was the perfect host. Even though, of course, that's kinda all I really have to say about this movie. It's just... And there was actually a time this used to be my favorite movie. Yes, believe it or not, it was my favorite movie before I started this YouTube channel. And there were some people who even had serious conversations with me about that. Like, my brother actually says that it's one of the worst movies ever made because of the whole drama stuff. And over time, I have realized its flaws, but come on, it gave us the best memes ever. And if you cannot accept the fact that I have my opinion, and you're gonna cry, Little Goblin Jr., for me defending this movie, and if you also are just one of those people who just can't accept the fact that everyone has their own opinion, then I missed the part where that's my problem. Okay, I don't know why I had to say all of that, still. So, what else is there worth talking about in this movie? Oh, Topher Grace also, yeah, I think he's an underrated actor. I know he's pretty popular from Star Trek, and he also played as some serial killer in the movie Predators. And I thought he had a solid performance in that too. While also, they made Venom just some symbiote bonded to a guy instead of, when really Todd McFarlane, the creator, who also made Spawn, fun fact, not the movie, the character, of course. He said that Venom was supposed to be bigger because he's a monster alien that would win in a fist fight against Spider-Man. So, that's kind of all I have to say about this movie. It definitely has its flaws, but when you really think about it, it's not that bad. So, I'd say somewhat 8 out of 10, where, of course, there are a couple things that are easily noticeable that is wrong with this movie, but overall, I still enjoy it. And let me know what you all think of this movie, what you thought of my review on it, and also what you want me to review next, or also just any type of video in general. And subscribe if you're new, please. And also, yeah, one more thing I gotta bring up. Obviously, the title, why this the most divisive superhero movie, is, of course, you got people like me who love this movie, even others out there who say it's the best of the trilogy or best Spider-Man movie. Yes, I have met people out there who say that, so, and I'm definitely not one of them, but I still like this movie. And then there's other people who say that this is one of the worst movies ever made, or the worst film in this franchise, etc. So, obviously, I didn't really give much of my opinion. I was just stating facts and explaining the story. But still, just don't get mad at me, please, or unsubscribe from me. But again, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and goodbye.